And welcome. This is Bhaskar Napse from Pharma Growth Hub, and today's topic of discussion is about understanding the reportable range in case if you are quantifying the compound based onto percent area basis. And very specifically, we will talk about why high end of the reportable range for purity as percent area basis is just equal to upper specification acceptance criteria or 100%. Now, my point of discussion is actually if you look into the another acceptance criteria according to the ICH guideline Q2R2, that is for validation of analytical procedures, what you will find now, this is the exact table where the reportable ranges are given. Like in case of assay, 80% to 120%. So low end is 80 and high end is 120%. In case of potency, low specification minus 20% to highest specification minus plus 20%. So it is always something more than the actual specification as the high end reportable range. Here 20% higher, 20% higher, 30% higher in case of the content uniformity. Now, if you look at the purity as percent area calculation, you will understand that the low end of the reportable range is 80% of the lower specification acceptance criteria, but the high end of the reportable range is just equal to your upper specification acceptance criteria or 100%. So why there is no plus 10 or plus 20% concentration considered for high end of the reportable range for purity as area percent? That is the exact point we'll try to understand. So let us now understand the definition of the reportable range. So the reportable range of an analytical procedure includes all values from the lowest to highest reportable results for which there is a suitable level of precision and accuracy. To qualify that this is my reportable range, you must have the concentrations at which your method is going to be precise and also going to be accurate. So this is the definition of reportable range given in the ICH guideline Q2R2. Let us now understand the exact topic of discussion today. And this is the same table I have considered for explanation. In case of the purity as percent area, our high end of the reportable range is just equal to upper specification or 100%. Let us assume the example of you are calculating the purity of the compound and your limit is something like this, maybe 98 to 100% on percent area basis. So this is the specification or acceptance criteria for your substance, 98 to 100%. So you can easily calculate what is going to be the 80 percentage of 98%, and that is going to become your low end of the reportable range. So let me calculate and quickly let you know. So 98 into 80 divided by 100, that gives 78.4%, isn't it? So the low end is 78.4%, isn't it? But what is the high end of the reportable range? It is just going to be 100%, not something more than that. So why there is no additional concentration is considered for defining the high end of the reportable range? That is the point of discussion today. So before we move on to the exact point, let us try to understand what is meant by purity on percent area basis. So purity as percent area is a term commonly used in a technique like a chromatography, like HPLC gas chromatography, and this is the calculation formula for calculating the purity as percent area. So you should calculate the area of a desired peak, right? And you should divide that by sum of areas of all the peaks and into 100 to convert that into percent. So this is the way the purity on percent area basis can be calculated. So what is the important point to learn in this particular calculation formula? we are not going to consider any concentrations, any weights or measurements are not considered. You are just going to have a chromatogram, right, like this one. And let us say you have some impurities over here, and this is your desired peak. And you are going to just integrate these peaks together, and whatever the total area of this entire chromatogram, you are going to assess the total area, and that is the sum of all areas, and you'll also assess the area of this only desired peak into 100. That is going to give the purity of this particular peak, the purity of this particular peak. If this is the peak number A, or the compound number A belongs to this particular peak, and if I want to calculate the purity of this compound A, I need to understand what is the peak area of the A, right? To be simplified further, peak area of compound A divided by total peak area, and then to convert this into percent, we need to multiply this by 100, isn't it? So this is the way you can easily calculate the purity of a compound A on percent area basis. Okay, this is the, yeah. So I hope you understand how this purity on percent area is calculated. So the basic question now of today's discussion is why high end of the reportable range for purity as percent area is just an upper specification acceptance criteria or 100%. These are the 2 points I wanted to bring to your notice. The first one is the total count of all peak is always equal to 100%. Now this is going to be always the situation. You cannot have the total area of the peak more than 100%. This is the first point. But the more relevant point is there won't be a situation where purity is reported more than 100%. Can there be a situation where you will report the purity more than 100%, provided you are calculating the purity on a percent area basis? Can there be a situation where you will have the purity of the compound more than 100%? Absolutely not, because the purity is calculated by the calculation formula with the relative terms. What is the component of the area of the desired peak in total peak? That is called as the relative term, and the relative term cannot go beyond 100%. So I think that is the strong reason why ICH has not given something 120%, which is not practically possible. You cannot have the concentration of the desired peak 120% in case if you are using the percent area basis. So it is going to be impractical, illogical, and because of that the Q2R2 might have given the high end of the reportable range for a purity while using percent area basis technique just equal to 100%, or if your upper specification is less than 100%. So that can be considered. So this is my take on this particular point. Let me understand what is your take, what is your understanding on this particular proposal by the ICH Q2R2. Thank you so much.